Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, January 8th. Quite an active period is setting up here in the Mid-Atlantic region for the next 2 or 3 weeks, or perhaps even beyond that. We have a combination of high latitude blocking and an active southern branch of the jet stream that will make it quite interesting around here for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Multiple storms should ride along the southern track from California towards the Gulf of Mexico and then into the northeastern part of the country. At the same time, high latitude blocking that is setting up over Greenland and Canada will help to push cold air masses into the central and eastern part of the U.S. And with that high latitude blocking, we have a much better chance of having sustained cold air. Sustained is a key factor necessary for some snow here in the northeastern part of the country. If you don't have sustained cold air, chances for significant accumulating snow is diminished quite a bit. So again, the combination of high latitude blocking and an active southern branch of the jet stream looks like it'll make for quite an active period over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Let's first start off by looking at a couple of indices. We tend to track high latitude blocking with the Arctic Oscillation Index as well as the closely related cousin North Atlantic Oscillation Index. When these two indices drop into negative territory, they tend to indicate high latitude blocking, which means higher pressure than normal over Greenland, over northern Canada, and again that tends to shunt cold air farther to the south into the middle latitudes, into the mid-Atlantic and northeastern part of the country. This is the forecast in red here, right here, for the Arctic Oscillation Index from the current position and for the next couple of weeks. And it's already in negative territory here. This is the neutral line right here. Already in negative territory and will stay negative for the foreseeable future. Some of the individual model runs here have it actually going off the charts into a territory rarely seen this time of the year. But again, the Arctic Oscillation clearly a negative territory, and its closely related cousin here, the NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation, also has slipped into negative territory. Looks like it'll remain in negative territory over the next couple of weeks. So certainly these are signals for high latitude blocking, which again in turn produces some cold air outbreaks that can be sustained in the Mid-Atlantic region. It looks like this will be the case for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Well, in terms of high latitude blocking, we discussed this in detail during the winter outlook that was issued back in October. There were a few signals at that time that raised the possibility of high latitude blocking episodes during the upcoming winter, namely the action of the Arctic Oscillation Index combined with snowpack in parts of Asia, specifically Siberia, as well as in general low solar activity that tends to favor Arctic oscillation being in the negative territory and high latitude blocking episodes in the winter. All three of those led to our above normal snowfall forecast for this winter season. This is the forecast map from the Canadian ensemble run of last night, 0Z, for Tuesday night of next week. Now there will be an Arctic frontal passage Tuesday night into early Wednesday. It looks quite active. We'll focus in on that in a moment or so. But this is the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast map. And a couple things wanted to point out here. This is very unusual to see purple up here over Greenland, northern Canada. All of this is higher pressure than normal and indicative of high latitude blocking. A very strong case of high latitude blocking here forecasted by the Canadian ensembles. Again, we talked about the Canadian ensembles tend to do a pretty good job when colder air pattern is setting up in the Mid-Atlantic region. So we're sticking with that right now. GFS is also coming around to this kind of a scenario, perhaps a little bit late in the game here, but it too is coming around to a significant high latitude blocking pattern. Notice here over the eastern half of the nation, blues representing below normal heights here. So you have dropping heights. At the same time, a strong Arctic front is approaching. Again, we'll talk about that in a moment, but that Arctic frontal passage Tuesday night into early Wednesday will be quite active. It looks like snow showers even into the I-95 corridor, perhaps even some snow squalls. Could even have an impact on the early Wednesday morning commute in the I-95 corridor, and we'll continue to monitor that over the next couple of days. Well, beyond Tuesday night, early Wednesday, another very active period. Looks like it'll be next weekend. That's the weekend of the 16th and 17th. There are signs of a major system pulling out of the Gulf of Mexico, headed towards the northeastern part of the country. Still way too early to get any details on that. Still an issue of rain versus snow. But this is the 500 millibar height anomaly map for Saturday night. Next Saturday night. Again, Saturday the 16th, from last night's Zero-Z Canadian Ensemble run. Two things I want to point out here. First of all, still very significant high latitude blocking centered over Greenland, the Davis Strait, the northern part of Canada. Still see purples here, way up here, off the chart. High latitude blocking, off the chart, high pressure relative to normal at the 500 millibar level. Come a week from tomorrow, this is next Saturday night, the 16th of January. Also, want to point out the deep upper level trough here indicated by the blues. And this is the active southern branch of the jet stream we have been talking about, enhanced by El Nino, which is occurring in the tropical Pacific. That tends to add some energy to the southern branch of the jet stream and add some moisture. And it looks like there will be storms pulling off of the Pacific Ocean towards California and then trek right along the southern states into the eastern part of the country. Again, next weekend, the 16th and 17th of January, there very well could be a substantial amount of moisture pulling out of the Gulf of Mexico towards the northeastern part of the country. So an active southern branch of the jet stream combined with high latitude blocking all spell some trouble over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Now, we've kind of focused in on the next 2 or 3 weeks in terms of high latitude blocking and an active jet stream in the southern states. This is the more of a near-term event. The Arctic frontal passage coming Tuesday night and early Wednesday looks quite impressive in terms of upper-level support. It very well could set off some snow shower activity, even into the I-95 corridor, maybe even some snow squalls. This is the forecast map from the very latest 12Z GFS model run for Tuesday morning. All of these maps, by the way, from tropicaltidbits.com. All snow associated with this, as there will be an initial Arctic blast Sunday night and Monday. So we'll be cold enough for all snow from this second frontal system Tuesday night, early Wednesday. Let's just kind of jump ahead here 6 hours later, Tuesday afternoon. And then finally, a Tuesday evening, snow just to the west of the I-95 corridor. Overnight, late Tuesday night, some snow reaches the I-95 corridor. And finally here by Wednesday morning, snow still in occurrence. That very strong upper level support starts to set off a coastal storm here. It's still kind of an explosive situation that needs to be watched at a minimum. Snow showers are likely here in the immediate I-95 corridor Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning. Could even have an impact on the Wednesday morning commute. Very strong winds Wednesday afternoon out of the northwest as a second Arctic blast arrives in the Mid-Atlantic region. So get ready. It'll be quite an interesting pattern over the next 2 or 3 weeks, starting with a heavy rain event Saturday night and Sunday morning, and then this very active Arctic frontal passage Tuesday night, early Wednesday. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.